Ooh, look at that shine. Is BackMarket a scam? I bought 5 phones to figure it out. And they didn't all arrive. So we'll go through the orders in just a second, but first I want to make sure everybody understands that BackMarket is not a refurbisher themselves. They are a marketplace for refurbishers to list their items, their stock. Let's go through the first order there. I wanted a phone with a decent camera to film on to replace my, well, real camera. I guess that's the way tech's going. I hopped on BackMarket and spotted the S20 Ultra, Samsung's flagship from 2020, which seemed like the sweet spot of price for specs. It's meant to have an 108 megapixel camera and impressive video recordings too, and all for only around £250, so it fit my bill. I ordered it, and it arrived quickly in this basic box. I was a little surprised by this packaging. The phone was kept in place with just this thin plastic and prayers. For such an expensive device, I'd have expected more, but everything seemed fine, and in fact more than fine when I looked at the phone itself, because I ordered it in only fair condition, which is BackMarket's bottom category, and the phone is in simply great shape. Like, this would be described as very good or even excellent on eBay, no doubt. In fact, on eBay they'd have probably tried to flog this as new. This is a lovely phone and everything seems to work fine so far. On to the next. This S10 Lite for a family member. It looked like the best Samsung option in the £100 to £150 range at the time and totalled... I need to check that. And totalled what appears on screen at the moment. It took its time coming, but all seems fine when it did, except for them including an Apple cable instead of USB-C. In fact, we'll get back to accessories provided, or more like not provided, shortly. I assure you that this lovely blue case certainly wasn't included. Third, I spotted this Find X2 Lite listed unusually cheaply. Frankly, I think it must have been a mistake, because it was listed for about half what it usually is. And because I apparently have the impulse control of a puppy at the butcher's, grabbed it, despite not having a single good use for it. Again, it showed up promptly. The handset is not quite as pristine as the S20, but certainly fine for a fair condition phone. Unfortunately, I discovered that the way they keep their prices so low is by not investing all the hours of manpower required to clean the handsets. It is a touch grubby. I can see dirt, especially along the camera bump edges and ingrained in the seams. Honestly, it's a shame, but it's not a deal breaker. Oh, and it was packed better this time, and came with by far the best accessories. Now the orders which didn't arrive. I think it might be a little bit misleading to include this first one in the list, but it nonetheless tells us something useful, so here goes. When placing my first order for the Samsung, I had multiple checkout tabs open where I was experimenting with discount codes, and when I decided to finally place my order, I somehow ended up accidentally ordering an iPhone 11. So, after just a few moments consideration about joining the cult, I decided I'd rather jump off a bridge. So I cancelled, with no issues whatsoever, and they never even took my money. Finally, the only order in which something truly went wrong. The S10 I reviewed just before was actually the second one ordered. The first, which we'd ordered a couple of days before, didn't show up, and we received an email. It looks like our seller has had some trouble synchronizing their stock, with a 5% off code. And then it became available at a lower price. So, all in all, not too terrible. Although, of course, if the price had gone the other way, it could have been annoying. Before I end, I'm going to partake in the great British tradition of complaining about the accessories. The weather wasn't so great today either. Out of the 3 received orders, only one came with a standard USB-C cable, another came with a very cheap-feeling male-to-male USB-C, and the S10 Lite came with the wrong cable altogether. Of course, you'd better have your own spare charging brick too. The S20, which doesn't have a headphone jack, didn't come with an adapter, and not, of course, with a set of compatible headphones. None of them did. I wouldn't expect a case, which is good because it saved me disappointment. They put their minimal accessories down to reducing e-waste, but I call BS. If you have to order them separately, it's much worse for the environment. But all of the most important things seem to work fine, the phones themselves, and in astonishing condition sometimes, and for astonishing prices sometimes. You've got to be careful what you buy, exactly. Not everything is as good a deal as other things, but certainly there is the potential for a very good deal. That said, they certainly should do much better with accessories. This sort of inconsistent and, frankly, stingy approach to them would put me off recommending them to less tech-savvy friends and family. Overall, I recommend buying from them. Just get ready to order more cheap accessories from across the world, wrapped in lots of plastic. I guess it's time to adopt a sea turtle. I'll see if I can get one from AliExpress.